Good evening and welcome back to Prime of Midlife. It's Tuesday evening, we have just had dinner and I could go to sleep now, which I'm sure we all know the feeling of. But I had an interesting conversation with Kathleen earlier when we came in. So when I came in, obviously gave the dog lovings and excuse me, caught up with Kathleen, etc., etc. And as we were getting organised, as you saw last night, there was some dishes to be done. So we were emptying dishwasher, filling dishwasher, wiping down surfaces and stuff. And I had gone back to sit down and Kathleen came through going, why have we only got one of those ceramic bowls? It's like ceramic bowl. Oh yes, you mean that bowl that's been at the back of the cupboard since we moved in here with the stock cubes in it. And she's like, yeah. She said, why have we only got one? Because I know Gran had more than one. I was like, yes, there was. Now, the bowl in question is this. Now, as far as I know, it's like an old patty bowl from supermarkets. I think. I'm not honestly sure. There's no branding on the bottom. If I remember correctly, in days of old, like when I was probably in my 20s, no, when I was a teenager, actually, my aunt lived down in Northampton. And she lived, what was it called? Western Fable Centre. And there was a huge Tesco's there. It was the first time I'd seen Tesco's with clothing, etc., etc. And what they used to do, my mum and my aunt, when we went down to visit, let me tell you, that was a journey with a woman who got travel sick after 5 miles. Yeah. We used to go down, but they loved patty and crackers, etc. So they would go to the big Tesco deli counter, which of course was quite a new thing at that time as well. And they would always buy whatever patty had only a small bit in it. And they would say, oh, can we have the bowl as well? And they got the bowl for free or for peanuts. So my mum and my aunt had these bowls. And it was one of those things that over the years since I've emptied mum and dad's house, things like that have been part of my decluttering. Originally, we kept them. We'd already got rid of the dinner services and, the tureens, etc., etc. But we kept some bits. But gradually, as I'm trying to get that this house is not full of stuff, things like that have gone. And this was the only one left. And Kathleen, when she found it, she's like, why is there only one? My goodness, that, it could do nachos and dips and stuff. And I don't know what she's thinking of. But yeah, Kathleen's thinking that this is a great bowl to have. And it probably is. But no, I have no intentions of buying any more bowls. We have enough. We don't need any more. Yes, it would be nice, but I don't need a separate bowl for dips and things. We have enough of those. What we normally use for such things is these. I don't know if you remember, there was a spate pretty much through COVID, I think, when you could get lots and lots of desserts with a little glass dish. I was creme brulee. I love creme brulee. But I don't like the ones, there's one, I don't know what brand it is, but there's one that's like got little bits of vanilla pod through it, but it's got little black dots on it. It doesn't taste right. I much prefer the other ones. So, but we've got a load of these glass things. Now, I've got rid of about half of them. I think we've maybe got 3 of these left now. And that is quite enough for a picky bits tray. Or, some people may call it a charcuterie board. We call it a picky bits tray. And that's where your chutney or your cream cheese or your dips, if we don't have tubs for them, separate tubs, then if we're making one ourselves, that's where that'll go. So yeah, as I say, we've cut them down from 6 to 3 now. We've got rid of most of the extra jars. But it was weird just to think of wouldn't that be lovely if we had maybe 3 or 6 of them so that we could make that, and you're like, when do you do that? When do you do that? Once every however long. And just as a question, let me just check. Oh, I do. So this is my cupboard. I actually, you can't see it. Let me see if I can show you. This is my condiments cupboard, my mug cupboard, etc., etc. But up in this top corner, you can see there's a china teacups. I love afternoon tea. And I mean, I love afternoon tea. And I had 3 tea services, bought them out the charity shop. That one was my mum's or my granny's. So that's the only one I've kept. I had bought another couple. Love afternoon tea. I had 2 cake stands. I have a tray with flowers on it and stuff. When was the last time I used that? I do not remember. Again, I think it was COVID, when my friend whose husband had a cafe did afternoon tea trays or tea boxes. And we drove quite some considerable distance to go and be supportive, and took photographs of his afternoon tea and put it on the cake stand and everything and did all the stuff. That's the last time I did that. So the cake stands are now gone. I can't throw out the teacups because they were my granny's. I don't remember her as such, but they were my granny's from my granny's house, which was my daddy's house, which, you know, sentimental value. But if you think, you know, for even although I'm keeping the cups and saucers, the stuff I had before with the trays, the cake stands, and the long thin china plate for the sandwiches, etc. It takes time to get rid of these things, to be able to let them go. But we're getting there. So as I say, now we're down to 1. So Kathleen will just have to live with that. But it's funny how when things like that get mentioned, it just starts this whole story going off in your head. So yeah, that's how my house is at the moment. Little bits and bobs of things that we're gradually decluttering. And yes, it will take me years because some things I'm just loath to get rid of. And other things, it maybe takes me a bit of time, but I get there eventually. So yeah, watch this space. One day, all this will be clear. Yeah. Catch you later.